Hi guys, good morning and welcome to Matt Mayeski YouTube channel, your YouTube channel for uplifting videos, sometimes some videos that make you a little bit, your blood boil, sometimes you completely hate what I say, and sometimes you think, okay, something to think about, which is beautiful because that's how it should be. We should be able to react, and we should always have the right to be offended or to feel negative or bad, because when that happens, it's good to look at yourself and think, why am I reacting like that? What is that reason? I think ultimately we're always going to be feeling bad at something. We're going to feel sad at something. We're going to react at something. We're always going to be a kind of like reaction or knee-jerk. And I think a lot of the times my message is try not to react, and that really is a wonderful thing. If you don't react and stand back and listen to what you're hearing and then give yourself time to digest, I think that's what I work on every day. I think that's my biggest flaw, because I react because I'm extremely passionate, because I've lived with a father who brainwashed me to be that way. Because we do tend to mimic our parents, no matter how hard they try to make us a better person and say, don't be like that, don't do this, don't do that. You always mimic your parents, and my dad was the greatest influence in the negative, and my mum was the greatest influence of the loving. So I've got a real loving side to me. I love cuddling, I love touch, I love holding, I love feeling close to somebody, I love the nice things said to me, like you do. And then the other side to me where I react and get angry and snap and don't listen and don't think, and so yes, we're all working towards becoming a better soul every day, and I think that's the secret. When you realize that you're a working motion and you're really trying your best to recognize those times when you knee-jerk and you ask yourself why, and you sit and listen to yourself a little bit and find out within your own understanding, your own guru speaks to you in the silence. When you're ready to really accept those faults, which are not your faults, they're just part of the conditioning that you had, and very possibly part of the journey that you came here to learn to overcome. So it's never anything personal, even though you think it may be when you don't look at yourself and run away and say, that's not me, or don't say that, and then fight back, because that often happens. I was only saying to somebody this morning, I was in a little bit of a fluster and frustrated this morning, and it was because of situations that had arisen, that had come into my life. And I thought about that. You know what? When I'm just doing what I do from day to day, I'm really happy. It's other people's influences that cause me issue, and their issues that then they fire at me. And I think, you know what, if I wasn't in certain people's lives, I wouldn't have this issue. I wouldn't be always worried about what this and why is this happening. But you can't live like that, because you have to interact with people. You have to have friends. It's part of the journey. So this is why I say, choose your friends wisely. Choose the people who you work with wisely. Choose your work colleagues wisely. And sometimes if family are causing you stress, then you're going to have to take a back seat and walk away from that, because that is going to cause you the greatest pain and suffering. And how can you ever grow? How can you ever feel your peace and find your happiness if their issues are causing you to be stressed all the time, and they're using you as their emotional punch bag? So we have to really think about that. And sometimes we have to make sacrifices. Sometimes we have to walk away from people who we actually love, to say, you know what, even though I love you with all my heart, I'm suffering, and I'm trying to make my life complete. And what's wrong with trying to find people who make your life complete? What's wrong with walking a path of finding friendships that are balanced with or aligned to how you feel and think? So I have a handful of friends that I can sit and talk with and not see for 6 months or a year, and we come together and we're like best friends again. And when we talk, we don't talk bad about people. We talk about how we're elevating in life and the important things. And I have a handful of friends like that I am happy to be with. the rest of the people, it can be very stressful for me because they either want something from me because they need help, or they're challenged by their problems and issues in life, and they tell me all their issues, and then they're fighting because of judgment, or they've got addiction, or they've got lots of different problems and stuff like that. So, and then it's targeted at you. And I think, you know what, you have to make the decision in your life whether you're going to live with that or not, whether you want to continue with that or not. So it's something very interesting for me, and it's something I realised that this morning very quickly. All of a sudden I thought, wow, I've been so happy for so long, and then issues come in, and then I'm feeling like, oh my God, out of balance. Yeah, because it's not your issues, it's other people's stuff. Because actually I've been working for 14 years. Have I ever caused anybody issue while I've been working and helping them? No, because my integrity is real. I do my work, and when I finished it, it's done, and I don't stop till I've done it if I promise somebody something. So, and am I happy with it? Yeah, I love my work. So I realised, no, Mark, it isn't you, it's other people, because, they're unbalanced in their life, and they bring their personal life into whatever they're doing, and and then you can feel that. So you have to be aware it's nothing personal. So what's today's subject about? Okay, this is a little controversial subject because some people are going to get a bit upset with this one, but this is the kind of subject I'll be talking about, but a little bit more heavier and more detailed on my upcoming membership site, where we can really talk about taboo subjects. But this one I might be able to just scratch the surface, and if I handle and tackle this well, we might be able to maybe have a balanced understanding of this without me stepping over the line that publicly I shouldn't be talking about the taboo things. So what's the subject today? I wish my partner was dead. Now, just give me a moment before you react. There are times in life that I have understood that people have been in relationships that they believe that the only way their life can ever resolve is that if their partner moves into the light. There are situations too that you could couple that with your mum, your dad, your brother, your sister, your cousins, or whoever who you feel are causing you so much pain and suffering that sometimes you wish it would be better if they left this world, and then you could move on. I'm going to give you a for example, and I've got lots of them because, as you know, I used to sit in front of thousands of people and read for them, and they tell me their greatest pain and suffering. And being a truthful reader and spiritual guide, we don't judge. There is no judgment, okay? No matter what somebody has done, you never judge, ever. You listen, and then you interact, and you share your truth of what you feel you're hearing, okay? So I'm going to share one which you'll understand why I'm sharing it, because I would never share it if that person is still alive, okay? So the people that I'm talking about now have moved into the spirit world. So one day, this beautiful lady came to see me, and she was very, very sad, and she sat down in front of me, and I started to tune in on her energy, and I instantly could feel this energy of her not wanting her partner to be in this world, okay? So I could feel that, and I placed my hands over her, and I stopped and then leant back, and I looked at her, and I'm not going to say her name, but I said, I think it's a very, very dangerous place to be right now, what you're thinking, and I think there's quite a lot of reasons why, and I'm going to try and explain to you why I think it's dangerous. So, the first thing I discussed about this situation is that, as you all know now, that I believe we come here to conquer our challenges and tests. And conquering means that we don't let them affect us anymore. Not that we run away from them. So whenever I say to you, sometimes you've got to walk away from something, I don't mean run away. You've got to try and understand how I try and explain things. Might be a little bit too one-dimensional for you. But what I mean is, you know what? I can't cope with this anymore. But thanks very much. I love you with all my heart. But you know what? I can't. I'm just not going to go down that path anymore. No, oh my God. Oh, and run away. You see what I mean? You walk away with love and you accept who that person is, and that's it. So one of the things I said to this beautiful lady, and she was in her 80s and her husband was 91 years old, was sometimes that's a very dangerous thing to think for your own health. And I have often seen this over the decade and so where ladies and men have really wanted this to happen and they've lived in that energy. And I said to her, it normally has a reverse effect. And she looked at me in shock. And I said, look, I don't see death, I only see life. But what I am sharing with you is that what you are wanting could sometimes happen to you. And it's a bit like, well, it's Sod's law, it's Murphy's law that that this has happened. But I think there's something very deep in that. And rightly so, she moved into the light quickly after, and he stayed here for a few years after. So she never got what she wanted, which was to be able to have her free will, to be able to do what she wanted, because he was in control of everything, and he wasn't a very nice man, okay? That's the truth. But I believe that she was in this world to overcome that and to be stronger than him and to say no, and this is what I'm doing, but she wasn't. So really, when we want ill of somebody, that's because we're frightened of becoming stronger than that person. It means that we are not strong enough to overcome that what we need to do. So if you simplify that down and forget the death thing, forget you want them to die, but just say that you wish they weren't in your life, okay? Well, that's a bit like saying, I'm not willing to overcome that, so I want somebody else to deal with it and let the universe handle it, and I don't want to confront that. And if you think about that, that's because you don't want to confront whatever that issue is, and two, it's easier to allow something bad to happen. And I think there's a fine line between that and being in front of a psychopath, who of course you walk away from, but I'm talking about day-to-day general living. If you're with a partner, if you're with somebody who's causing you grief, and I can't do anything, he's doing this to me, and I wish this had happened. Instead of wishing something would happen, why not change whatever you need to change in your life to make it happen? Why not confront that situation in a loving way and say, no, I'm sorry, I'm my free will, my choice, I'm not accepting this anymore, and that's final. And I think when you are able to find your strength, that you are equal to any person who pretends to be this angry or this mean or this bad person, when you realize that you are equal to their energy and power, that you can confront them, you normally find that they back down in the end very quickly. And if not, it doesn't matter, because you've said your piece and then it's never going to happen again. The one thing that I often tell people, and there are bullies out there in the world, and even the system is a bully. And I'll give you a for instance. This is a bit of a silly for instance, but think about this. The banks are bullies. The banks do things to hurt people. They send bad letters, fear letters, they bully letters and all that. But I remember one day when the banks were on at me trying to do something really devious, as they do, and their anger and how they present their letters and their fear stuff. I said to them once, I said to my this one part of the company of the bank, I said, I tell you what, I've done everything I can to balance my books, to make everything right. Business isn't doing well. You're talking about, taking my house off me and all that. Do you know what? I've done my best. and I've been trying to do my best, and now all you're doing is threatening me and saying you're going to take me to court, you're going to do this. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to come back with the keys and throw them on the table. I actually now don't care what you do at all. And you know what? Everything changed. They stopped. Because they realize that the one thing they have a hold on you is your fear, your worry of the what if, what will happen. And when you surrender that and say, you do what you want, because you know what? I don't care. The bullies have no power over you anymore. And that's not just the bank, that's people, that's your family, that's your brother, that's your sister. When you say, you know what? I actually don't care anymore. And when you mean that with your hand on your heart, like I did, because I thought I can't cope with this anymore. I knew I was becoming so ill that I wasn't gonna be used to anybody. So it wasn't that I surrendered myself, it was that I had no option, because my body was becoming so ill and weak that I was dying basically. And you know, when you think about that, sometimes you're like that too. You fight with people because they're giving you all their stuff and you're trying to defend yourself and you're fearful and you're worried and you're saying, oh, I want all this to stop and I wish they were dead, or I wish that. You know what? It's better to surrender yourself and face it with that surrender. You know what? This ain't gonna happen no more. I'm finished with it. I'm done. There's nothing that you can say that will ever hurt me again, and what I'm gonna do is what I'm gonna do, and there's nothing that you can do about it because it's my choice and I've made my mind up. And by doing that, you will change your situation no matter how hard it is, because no bully will ever fight against somebody who surrendered, because they work on feeding from your weaknesses and fears and worries. So I kind of hope this meant something to you today. There's a lot of going off here, going off there, but I think the main message today, through all of the little things that I've shared with you, is that ultimately, whatever situation you are in to become stronger than. And you will never conquer your situation if you run away from it. You will never conquer your situation if you don't become stronger than the situation of other people's weaknesses and fears. You ultimately have to be the power that you are. And it's interesting because the day I said, no one has the power over me, the lady who affected me for 5 years in my life, it stopped. Why? Because I surrendered myself and I wouldn't allow it to happen, and I realized that nobody has the power over me and nobody has the power over you unless you let them, unless you fear them, unless you think they're more powerful than you, unless you think that, you know, I can't do this and do that because they're more powerful than me. Nobody's more powerful than you. Nobody. You are equal to anybody, and if they're a bully, you're more powerful than them, because you have more love, more integrity, more beautifulness, more kindness. You are more powerful than they can ever be, and they'll fall and they'll do whatever they do throughout their life, but you'll become stronger today. So maybe take a leaf out of my little book today and remember, no one has the power over you. Go and face whatever it is that you have fear of, and just smile and say, no more. It's finished. It's ended. And resolve whatever you need to resolve, and just do it, and you watch how everything changes. Okay guys, from a beautiful Ubud, again from the Art Lounge today. It's been lovely talking to you. You know who you are. A few people have sent me a message about this subject. You know I love you. You're in my heart. I send you love every day, and you can do this. If I can do it, you can. Trust me. Anybody can do it. I'm the softest pudding in the world, so you can do it. So good luck to you, and I send you all my heart's love. It's funny how when you make your mind up to do something and stick with it and be strong, how your life does change, because you changed it. You broke that mold. You became the stronger, and you're worth it. And trust me, when it happens, your life becomes amazing. So just do it today. So don't wish anybody harm, don't wish anybody dead, don't wish anybody to go away. Just conquer your fears and then confront it, and then smile in the face of it and say never again, You become stronger, they see that, and then you walk away with love and integrity and be the best soul that you are. Take care, guys. Thank you for subscribing to Mark Bajerski YouTube channel once again, and have a great day. Love you all. You're doing great. You really are.